Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're getting into a real classic, a landmark piece of literature, Ray Bradbury's Fahrenheit 451.
It's definitely one that sticks with you.
Absolutely. And our mission here is pretty straightforward. We want to navigate this incredible, maybe unsettling novel for you. It's set in this world where, well, firemen don't put out fires.
No, quite the opposite.
They start them. Burning books is their job. It's like the foundation of their whole society.
Yeah.
So this deep dive is really custom made for you, pulling out the key insights from your source material, excerpts from Fahrenheit 451, a literary deep dive. The goal is to give you a really solid understanding of why this novel isn't just, a dusty classic, but why it still feels so relevant decades later.
It really does.
So let's start there. I mean, what kind of mind, Ray Bradbury's mind, comes up with such a chillingly, almost prophetic vision? A world where knowledge literally goes up in flames. Where did that idea even come from?
Well, it's really fascinating when you look at the timing. Bradbury published Fahrenheit 451 back in 1953.
Right, in the thick of it.
Exactly. It was a period just steeped in the anxieties of the early Cold War. You had McCarthyism in full swing in the U.S.
That whole era of paranoia, blacklisting.
Precisely. Intense suspicion, this pressure for intellectual conformity, and naturally widespread fears about censorship. People were genuinely scared about what you could or couldn't say or even think. And running parallel to that, you had this huge explosion of television culture.
The screens start taking over.
Yeah, TV was rapidly becoming the main way people got their entertainment, their information, maybe misinformation. And Bradbury was watching all of this.
He saw it happening.
He really did. He was reacting very strongly to these real-world pressures. They directly fed into his vision of a society that would actually choose to burn its own books.
It's pretty wild to think how directly those, societal nerves really fueled his imagination. But was it just the big picture stuff, the politics, or did he see things, personally in people around him?
Oh, absolutely. It wasn't just abstract political shifts for him. He was deeply concerned about the impact of mass media and this push for conformity on individuals.
Okay.
He talked about seeing a growing passivity, this preference for, quick, easy entertainment over anything requiring deep thought or effort.
The path of least resistance.
Exactly. That personal alarm he felt, this sense that culture was being, as he might put it, dumbed down, combined with the political climate, that really lit a fire under him, pardon the pun, to write this story.
Yeah, no kidding. Okay, so let's dive into that world he created. Our way in, for you, the listener, is really through the main character, Guy Montag. Can you kind of set the scene? What's his deal?
Right, Guy Montag. He is our entry point. He's a fireman, but like you said, not our kind of fireman. His whole job, his purpose in this society is to burn books, to destroy knowledge. And when we meet him, he seems pretty content, actually. Almost proud of his work. He's an enforcer of the system.
He buys into it.
Completely. But the story is about his journey away from that. We see him go through this gradual, often really painful process of disillusionment.
It's not like a switch flips.
No, not at all. It's a slow burn, ironically. It's sparked by the people he meets, the encounters he has that start to make him question everything.
Okay, so who are these key people? The ones who kind of push and pull him?
They're absolutely crucial for his transformation, yeah. First, you've got Clarisse McClellan.
The teenager.
Yes, this free-spirited, incredibly curious 17-year-old girl. She's just different. She asks questions nobody else asks. She notices things. She's the total opposite of this conformist society.
And she gets Montag thinking.
Profoundly. Her simple questions like, "Are you happy?" just completely unsettle his world. Then, in total contrast, you have Mildred Montag, Guy's wife.
Right. She represents the norm.
Sadly, yes. She's a really chilling picture of what this society produces, completely lost in her parlor walls, these giant interactive TV screens, obsessed with shallow soap operas, reliant on sleeping pills, just totally disconnected from reality, from her husband, from herself.
A representation of that distraction we talked about.
Exactly. The emptiness Bradbury was warning about. Then there's Captain Beatty.
Montag's boss, the fire captain.
Right. And he's complex, really manipulative. Beatty is fascinating because he's incredibly well-read. He can quote books, chapter and verse.
Wait, the fire captain who burns books knows them inside out?
He does, and that's what makes him so dangerous. He understands their power, but he uses that knowledge to justify why they must be burned, arguing it makes society happier, prevents conflict, stops people from feeling inferior. He embodies the twisted logic of the regime.
Wow, okay. That's a great character.
And finally, there's Professor Faber. an old former English professor Montag seeks out.
A link to the past.
Yes, exactly. Faber is sort of timid, initially reluctant to get involved,
Yeah.
but he becomes Montag's mentor. He provides intellectual guidance, gives him context for what he's feeling, helps him understand why books matter, and represents this kind of hidden, fragile resistance.
So these characters, they're not just plot devices. They're like focal points for Montag's whole internal struggle.
Absolutely. Each one pushes or pulls him, challenging him, forcing him to confront what he believes and ultimately who he wants to be.
That journey and these characters guiding or hindering it, that really gets us to the core of what Bradbury wanted to say, doesn't it? What are the big ideas, the main themes that really resonate from Fahrenheit 451?
Oh, it's packed with them. And so many feel, almost scarily relevant today. Obviously, there's censorship. The book burning is the most visible symbol of that.
Right, the state-suppressing ideas.
Yes, but what's maybe even more unsettling, and what Bradbury really nails, is how much of this censorship, this intellectual decay, is self-inflicted.
What do you mean, like people choose it?
In a way, yes. It's not just the government forcing ignorance. It's society willingly embracing distraction, choosing superficial entertainment over critical thinking, over engaging with complex ideas. People want the easy answers Beatty talks about. That voluntary turning away from depth, that might be the most chilling theme.
That's heavy.
It really is. And that connects directly to the next big theme, the power of knowledge itself. Or, maybe more accurately, what we profoundly lose when books and the kind of thinking they encourage are just wiped out.
The ability to think critically, to question.
Exactly. Then you've got the classic struggle, conformity versus individuality. Montag's whole arc is about fighting that immense pressure to just go along, to fit in, contrasted so sharply with someone like Clarisse, who's just unapologetically herself.
Yeah.
And building on that self-censorship idea, there's the danger of a totally distracted society. Mildred is the poster child for this, how constant, shallow entertainment can just numb people, lead to apathy, a total inability to connect or think deeply.
That definitely rings a bell today.
Doesn't it? And finally, even in this bleak world, Bradbury shows us glimmers of resistance. The desire for truth, for connection, for meaning, it persists. There are signs of rebellion, this idea that the human spirit keeps searching, even when oppressed.
It really makes you pause and think. For me, personally, that theme of constant entertainment breeding apathy.
Wow.
Yeah, that one hits a little too close to home sometimes. What about for you? Which of these themes feels the most, striking or unsettling when you consider Bradbury's world, and how does it connect with you? It's not just the ideas, though, is it? Bradbury's writing itself is just so vivid. He uses symbolism in such a powerful way. Take fire, for instance. It's everywhere. How does he manage that dual nature, destruction and something else?
He handles it masterfully. Fire is, without a doubt, the central symbol. Primarily, yes, it's destruction. It's the tool the firemen use to erase history, to enforce conformity. It's violent and terrifying.
The burning of the books themselves.
Exactly. But then, especially towards the end, you see fire differently. With the book people, the hobo intellectuals living outside the city.
The ones who memorize books.
Right. They gather around a campfire. And there, fire's warmth, its community, it's a focal point for preserving knowledge, not destroying it. It hints at purification, maybe even renewal, like the mythical phoenix, which is also mentioned, this idea that understanding can rise from the ashes.
That's a great contrast. And what about the mechanical hound? That thing is pure nightmare fuel?
Oh, absolutely terrifying. It's this robotic hunter programmed to track down and inject its victims with anesthetic. It symbolizes several things, really. The dehumanizing nature of technology when used for control.
Right.
The omnipresent surveillance state, this constant sense of being watched and hunted, and just pure, unthinking, programmed fear. It has no mercy, no thought, just its programmed mission.
Chilling.
And even the title, Fahrenheit 451. He famously claimed that's the temperature at which book paper catches fire and burns.
Is that actually accurate?
Well, scientifically, it's debatable, depends on the paper and conditions. But that's almost beside the point, isn't it? As a symbol, it's incredibly potent. The title itself tells you immediately whether this society values destroying.
Yeah, absolutely. It sets the stage instantly. It's those kinds of elements, that really skillful use of imagery and symbolism that just sear the story into your memory and make its messages hit so hard.
Definitely.
So let's zoom out. Connect this to the bigger picture. How is it that a novel written way back in 1953 feels so incredibly, almost eerily relevant to us right now in our world today?
That really is the key question, isn't it? And I think Fahrenheit 451's enduring power comes from how those warnings Bradbury issued, those anxieties of the 50s, seem to manifest in new ways in our own time.
How so?
Well, think about modern debates around free speech, cancel culture, misinformation, disinformation.
Sure.
Then there's this sheer overwhelming influence of media today. Not just TV anymore, but the internet, social media algorithms, constantly feeding us what keeps us engaged, even if it's shallow.
The endless scroll.
It's exactly. The demand for instant gratification, constant entertainment. It raises direct parallels to Bradbury's concerns about a society distracted into apathy. And maybe most importantly, it highlights the absolute necessity of critical thinking in navigating this flood of information or noise. His warnings about voluntarily giving up deep thought feel incredibly prescient.
It really is remarkable how a story from then can feel like it's describing aspects of now.
Yeah.
When we talk about that danger of distraction, though, some people might say, well, isn't entertainment just entertainment? What's the harm? How do you think Bradbury differentiates between, harmless leisure and the kind of soul-crushing distraction he depicts? What does that distinction mean for you today?
Okay, as we start to wrap up this deep dive, we really hope we've given you more than just a plot summary. Hopefully it's a richer understanding of Fahrenheit 451, where it came from historically, the characters that drive it, those big universal themes, and why it just keeps sticking around, why it matters.
Yeah, it's a book that invites rereading at different times in your life. It really does. Yeah. So here's a final thought to leave you with. In our age, an age of seemingly endless information, instant everything, what does Fahrenheit 451 teach you? Specifically about the quiet ways, the subtle ways, knowledge and deep thinking can be lost, maybe even ways we choose to lose them. And following from that, what responsibility do you feel you have to think critically, to really engage with the information you consume every day?
It's a crucial question.
It really is. We definitely encourage you, if it's been a while, revisit the novel, or maybe explore some of these themes further. There's a lot to chew on.